Good morning. Please rise in body or spirit as you're able and sing the gathering hymn, number 126 in the gray hymnal. Come, thou font of every blessing. Come, thou font of every blessing, tune our hearts to sing thy grace. Streams of mercy never ceasing, call for songs of loudest praise. While the hope of life's perfection fills our hearts with joy and love, teach us ever to be faithful. May we still thy goodness prove. Come, thou font of every vision, lift our eyes to what may come. See the lion and the young lamb dwell together in thy home. Hear the cries of war fall silent, feel our love glow like the sun. When we all serve one another, then our heaven is begun. Come, thou font of inspiration, turn our lives to higher ways. Lift our gloom and desperation, show the promise of this day. Help us bind ourselves in union, help our hands tell of our love. With thine aid, O fount of justice, earth be fair as heaven above.
Good morning. My name is Janet Stebbins, and I have the honor of being your celebrant this morning. Here at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Salem, we gather together not because we all have the same beliefs, but to support one another on our individual spiritual journeys. Everyone is welcome here. All love is welcome here. All identities are welcome here. As we enter this sacred time together, I invite you to turn off your cell phones, but also to turn off your fears and anxieties. Let go of the expectations and demands that have been put on you by others, and give yourself grace. Just breathe. Be here in this moment. Welcome. I'm going to ask you to please join me in speaking aloud our affirmation. You'll find it in your program. Love is our doctrine. Compassion is our way. Here we seek to create a joyful home for free religious exploration. Build a community of caring fellowship. Nurture the hopes and serve the needs of our world.
Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for if we are strong, so I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. please swallow your pride. If I have things you need to borrow, for no one can fill those of your needs that you won't let show. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. If there is a load you have to bear that you can't carry, I'm right up the road. I'll share your load if you just call me. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. So just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you understand. We all need somebody to lean on.
Well, here at UUCS, it's our tradition to light 3 chalices as we begin our Sunday service. We light our first chalice for our congregation, members, friends, all of you here, and all of you who are watching online. The next is for our partner church in Szymanfalva, Transylvania, Romania. And we light our lantern for children and youth, both those who are in our religious exploration program and for children everywhere. May these little flames and all they represent spark our imaginations and warm our hearts. Please join me in singing the flames into life.
Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy. Hello? Aha. I have a story to tell you, all children and youth. If you'd like to come up front and have a seat, or if you'd like to sit on the chair there, but closer the better. The closer the better. Yeah, that's good. Okay, I'm Barbara, and I've seen a lot of you, and this is the first time I've told this story, so I hope you like it. I have a question for you first. Have any of you gotten really involved in a game or a book or maybe a movie, and then somebody, usually an adult, would come along and say, okay, Jimmy, it's time for supper, or it's time to go to bed. And he's like, no, I've got to finish this. I'm having so much fun watching this. Has that ever happened to you when you got kind of upset? It's like, I want to stop what I'm doing. Yeah? Yeah, okay. Well, this is a story about that and some other things. So once upon a time, there was a little girl named Missy, and she was playing out in the yard. It was a beautiful spring day, and she was with her brothers. She looked, and in the grass, there was a leaf, just a single leaf. And, that's nothing much, big deal. But she looked again, and the leaf moved. It moved. And she was only 5, but she did notice this, and she thought, well, it's not breezy out. Why is it moving? Or what would you have done? What would you have done? No wind. So, what? Poked it. Poked it, yeah. Anything else? Just a leaf, just like the size of my hand. All right, well, she did more than that. She walked over to it, and she lifted it up. And she went, oh! What do you think she saw? A leaf. What did she see under the leaf? Grass. She saw some grass. What do you think? Bugs. Anything else? Can you imagine? A ladybug. Well, that's a good guess, but it wasn't. It was bigger than that. It was a wolf. Not that big. It was a beetle. Lots of bugs in here and beetles. Good guesses, but all right. A mouse, getting closer. Okay, I'm going to tell you because I have to end the story at some point. All right. It was a baby bird. A baby bird. Oh, and she went, oh, that's like me. I'm like a little kid. This is a little bird. It was so vulnerable. I don't think she knew that word then, but, and she's looking at it. Oh, wow, look what I discovered. And Missy, come on in. It's time for your nap. It's like, no, I need to stay with this baby bird. I got to stay with it. I got to get to know it. I want to pick it up. I have so many questions. How did it get there? How did it get under a leaf? Maybe it fell out of its nest and it got under a leaf to protect itself. Who knows? She had so many questions, but she had to go take a nap. Do you think she slept during that nap? No way. And when it was over, she went running back out and she looked under the leaf. It was gone. She was very sad. So, what is the moral of this story? Oh, there could be a bird under the leaf. Never take naps. There might be a timing thing, but life is full of surprises. And she only could imagine what happened to that little bird. And it could have been a sad imagining, like, oh dear, did the cat get it? Or maybe the parents found it, and maybe it hopped away under a tree or something. But she never found out. We hope so. But she had to use her imagination, and forever after she was curious about things that didn't make sense, and it was worthwhile to investigate them. That's the story. The end. Thank you for listening. And now we'll do, did you have any announcements, Molly? We will do the love arch. So people at the end of the aisle form an arch, and let's sing away. Wherever you walk, walk in love. Wherever you walk, walk in peace. Wherever you walk, walk in beauty all around you. Our hearts go with you.
Now I'm going to have to think about that bird for a while. Spirit of life, I give thanks for the opportunity to be a supporting presence when others are facing challenging times. May I remember that the simple act of showing up, being present, may be all I can manage some days, yet that may make all the difference for someone. May I set aside my feelings of inadequacy that arise from knowing I cannot fix all that needs fixing, and instead be grateful that I can be among the helpers today, knowing that At some time, I will likely need the help of others. May I be gentle with those whom I find challenging, as I hope they will be gentle with me.
Good morning. I'm Eric Schumann, one of your Lifeline's lay ministers. We have one shared joy and sorrow this morning, and it was submitted by Heather. She says, "My daughter Raven was born on May 11th, and she is my greatest joy. We came back to the Pacific Northwest to secure a safe and sacred place for her to bake and sell cakes, and for me to help veterans and others with Reiki. I'm sad that we had a new home lined up for her birthday that fell through after we got here. I'm asking prayers to secure a new home that cares enough about families so we can heal while helping the UU community and beyond again. We also will be offering prayers for all of the other moms in spirit, too." One more candle, and that candle is for all of those joys that you have that are unspoken, and all of the sorrows and losses that are also within our hearts that we have not spoken today. Your Lifeline's lay ministers are here for you. We'll be in the fellowship hall following the service at the Lifeline's table. Today is also Compassionate Connections, and that's an opportunity if you would like some private time with Lifeline's lay ministers. Please come forward immediately after the service. We will adjourn to a private space.
We'll sing through it twice. Thank you. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
My Dreams, They Matter by Phoenix Bell Shelton Briggs. Though at times I may forget who I am or who becoming, my dreams, they matter. when I make space for all that is, when I move away from that which no longer serves me, when I make space for new possibilities in the circumstances, my dreams, they matter. They matter. They hold many truths and many turning points. They matter, though at times I convince myself they don't. They do, for they call me back in time and forward still. My dreams matter. They matter as they pull me inward, yet simultaneously push me outside myself. My dreams matter. They matter as they speak to the breadth of love, of pain, of hope that rest in the fabric of my blood and bones. My dreams matter as they are connected to the dreams of my ancestors, connected to all who have graced this earth before, who grace it here and now, and will be connected to all who grace this earth when we grace this place no more. My dreams, they matter. Your dreams, they matter. Our dreams, they matter. They matter.
Thank you, Janet. Close your eyes, if you will, and imagine that you are in the woods, sitting on a soft bed of green moss. It's cool, slightly damp, and quiet, so quiet, except for the birds. A robin sings, a woodpecker knocks. The leafy branches of a big leaf maple tree cast dappled shade, protecting you from the sun. Now, more aware and calm, you hear the gentle murmur of a stream nearby. Water chasing itself over stones, sticks, and fallen leaves, flowing somewhere downhill, somewhere underground, somewhere out to the ocean. Imagine how nice it would be to lean back on the moss, to doze in peace. You may open your eyes now and breathe deeply a few times. If you grew up like I did in New England, you may be familiar with the mixed hardwood forests with many a mossy glen. You would also be acutely aware that sitting in peaceful solitude would be impossible because of the multitudes of hungry, biting, sucking insects. Black flies, mosquitoes, deer flies, not to mention deer ticks, which carry Lyme disease. So, even though I can imagine a place of soft green comfort, the memory of those biting, stinging intruders raises its nasty snout. So, imagination can transport us into a peaceful place until a memory of lived experience intrudes. Sometimes it could be welcomed, sometimes not. What happens when new experiences occur that contradict the past? Do the contours of our imagination respond? When I moved to the Willamette Valley, how surprised I was to discover that there are relatively few biting insects. After 27 years of living here, I can actually imagine dozing peacefully on a bed of moss, near the Willamette River without those old intrusive thoughts. You may think this is an insignificant bit of data, but I think it's instructive. It suggests to me that memories of an early experience can be overridden with new experience, and this in turn influences the scope of our imagination and perspective. I grew up near a dairy farm. The brothers, Stu and Richie, worked as farmers do, endlessly, feeding, cleaning, milking, putting the cows out, letting them back in. Yes, they actually did put them out to pasture, and they did come back in. Baling, putting up the bales in the hottest days of summer into the hayloft. As a little girl, I was entranced by all of this. The sharp smells, the animal sounds, the taste of molasses the brothers put on the grain. I noticed, too, how easily Stu and Richie worked with each other. And they laughed a lot, telling jokes and stories based loosely on reality. And then there was Silver, the round-bellied gray pony who tried to blend in with the black and white Holstein cows. I dreamt about her, imagining sliding onto her bare back and galloping over the hayfields. But I was shy, and I was afraid to ask if I could ride her. One day I got up the courage and approached the brothers. They laughed at me, and told me, sure, I could ride her if I could manage to stay on a bucking bronco. Alas, I didn't know how to ride anything but a squeaky bicycle. In truth, my fear of getting hurt was bigger than dreams of riding Silver. Our childhood imaginings and dreams may seem inconsequential when we remember them as adults. But it is likely that each of us, in our own way, had these first stirrings of how we wanted to be in the world, not simply how our parents and teachers told us to be. I dreamed of befriending a pony that seemed without friendship and who, I imagined, would be an excellent companion for exploring the open fields. I believe this was a young glimmer of my personal search for meaning in life. Fast forward to young adulthood. I had moved to Greenwich, England, to study and experience the culture outside the US. I told myself to keep an open mind about what I would see and do. I imagined the British were not very different from Americans, since my ancestors were primarily English with a splash of Irish. I thought I would probably blend right in. Eager to become familiar with the surrounding area, I chose to walk to the university from the student house instead of riding the bus. Just under 2 miles, the route took me through Greenwich Park, where the Royal Observatory stands and through which the Prime Meridian runs. This is the imaginary longitudinal line that divides the Earth in half, east and west. That takes a lot of arrogance and imagination to do that, by the way. But there it is. And that is where Greenwich Mean Time originates. I was in awe of such an historically and geographically consequential location. To add to my sense of wonder were the many huge ancient oak trees that graced the park. I love trees and felt less of a stranger when I understood that the British reverence for historical preservation reached beyond human-made works such as architecture and literature to include nature. One of these oaks germinated in the late 13th century. It was named the Queen Elizabeth oak, because during its 800-year lifespan, Elizabeth I picnicked under its branches. It lies on its side now, deceased, but protected and still viewed by visitors imagining scenes of the distant past. Still walking and musing over the rich history of the British Empire, its colonial reach, conquest, cultural legacy, I nearly fell over when I exited the south end of the park into a sooty, noisy, traffic-congested thoroughfare, which ran through a rundown commercial strip. As I joined the stream of pedestrians, all in a hurry, I was shocked to see a man lying motionless on the sidewalk. Was he dead or sleeping? I imagined the worst. What should I do? Other pedestrians were passing by with no hesitation. It was as if he weren't there at all. Surely the locals would do the right thing, which apparently was to carry on. How British. So I did too, with great discomfort and shame. I did it again and again as I passed by several more motionless figures on my way to the university. I could have not imagined such stark contrasts as I did on that first day walking to school. Why not? I expose my privilege when I say I had never seen a homeless person before that moment. Furthermore, at that point in my life, my imagination fed off of the amazing creativity around me in nature and in human ingenuity. I knew that poverty, suffering, substance abuse, mental illness existed. But for the most part, I imagined that as a young adult, I personally would, should, and could navigate around all of these. And so began my journey as a guest and observer in a country that was both welcoming and disturbing. After a time, it became my practice as I walked through Greenwich Park to recite the opening lines of one of Samuel Coleridge's most famous poems. In Xanadu did Kubla Khan a stately pleasure dome decree, where Alph the sacred river ran through caverns measureless to man, down to a sunless sea. It conjured in me images of exotic beauty, while at the same time hinting at inescapable darkness and sorrow. It was a small way for me to cope with things I did not fully understand or control. And because the source of these words was from the mind of an Englishman, I imagined that their essence might in some subtle way bring me insight into this culture's soul. Of course, you may know that he was an opium addict. He wrote this, so very evocative, another story. Now, decades later, I feel like a guest and observer in my own country, which currently is both familiar and frightening. I do not recite Kubla Khan anymore. Instead, I let my dreams and lived experiences mix and influence each other. I imagine that this mixture splashes itself onto a canvas where shapes and colors emerge, inviting me to stand back, look, and search for meaning. We all have a unique canvas with personal meaning. For many years, mine was drawn through a love of things biological. My studies and research in molecular biology made real how interconnected all of life is, right down to the molecular level. I was drawn into biomedical fields that asked basic questions on how cells, genes, and other biomolecules function and respond to their environment. If you've never done laboratory research, you might imagine it's all tubes, pipettes, and careful measurement. Yes, and there is a lot of imagining of what may be happening in those tiny, mysterious cells. But instead of saying, we imagine that cells do such and such, we dress it up by saying, we hypothesize that cells do this and that. And then, of course, as a researcher, you don't stop at imagining a model. You have to do the often more difficult creative work of designing and carrying out experiments to test your hypothesis. Your imagination moves into an experiential phase. Have you ever imagined that new light fixtures or a vegetable garden would be a welcome change in your life? You've probably had a lot of those moments, and when you decided to actually do them, I'll bet $100 it took you longer than you expected, often due to the tiniest of details that you hadn't taken into account when you first dreamed up your project. Well, lab research is the same, times 1,000. What took dedicated concentration and energy often yielded incremental insight. But here's the paradox. I'm sure I speak for most researchers, regardless of their field. There is a certain profound oneness that occurs when you discover something. I felt as if I was seeing for the first time tiny molecular dance steps that were crucial to the sacred ballet of life. Over time, an inner voice whispered to me that the meaning and purpose I gleaned from these experiences wanted to be shared more broadly. I imagined that teaching and mentoring college students was a possibility. I would open minds and doors for young adults, just as my mentors did for me. Yes, I had doubts about my abilities, but unlike my dreams about riding Silver, the bucking pony, I knew I had some valuable skills, and where I was ignorant, which I surely was, I would learn. And so, for the next couple of decades, a dream became a reality as a tenured biology professor at our local Willamette University. All those interactions with students, faculty, frogs, cells, and biomolecules demonstrated to me again and again how a dream woven to a plan of action created a life of meaning for me and others. Now retired, I still feel joy and hope knowing that today, a cohort of young adults is graduating from Willamette and across the country, eager to blend their dreams and experiences to come into works of art shimmering with meaning. Imagine a flower with 6 petals extending outward from a bright yellow center. Unitarian Universalism is a living tradition, and like a blooming flower, it has a beauty and integrity of which we are a part. Just last year, the Unitarian Universalist Association, with the support of hundreds of delegates from member congregations across the country, voted to embed our values into these imagined petals of that flower. Interdependence, pluralism, justice, transformation, generosity, equity. And the yellow center that holds those petals together, where the pollen and ovaries nestle, is love. We are part of a movement where we imagine a joyful world where everyone is entitled to dignified and meaningful lives. We nurture that capacity to imagine, and we encourage each other to bring those dreams to fruition, just as flowers give rise over time to nourishing fruits. So, cultivate your imagination. Share your dreams. Listen to the dreams of others. Dare to live those dreams despite the obstacles, past and present. Be inspired by those around you who imagine and work toward a society where dignity and respect for all, beginning with you, are a way of life. Paraphrasing Martin Luther King Jr., one of the world's great dreamers, I have the audacity to imagine that people everywhere can have 3 meals a day for their bodies, education, culture for their minds, and dignity, equality, and freedom for their spirits. May it be so. Now, for a time of meditation, close your eyes, if you will. Relax the muscles in your face, your arms, your legs. Take a slow breath in and gently exhale. Imagine you have returned to the soft bed of moss. The earth underneath the moss supports you with strength and care. Imagine that you are just one small being, but with infinite potential to nurture relationship with all beings who join you on your bed of moss. Kindness, respect, humor, joy, love hover like hummingbirds over your head. When you rise and leave the bed of moss, take these gifts with you and share them.
Thank you, Barbara. We give because we are part of this community, a community of people who, as Barbara told us, imagine a better world. There are many ways to support this congregation. Whether you give of your time and talents or offer financial support, all gifts are needed and greatly appreciated. UUCS also supports the work of community organizations which share our values. This month, we are partnering with Salem Harvest. This nonprofit organization collects fresh fruits and local fruits and vegetables, and they distribute them to those in our community who face food challenges and are at a risk of going hungry. The familiar little red wagon, which lives in the foyer, is coming to the front of the sanctuary, where it will accept contributions to the Marion Polk Food Share. You may make financial contributions during the passing of the baskets or online at uusalem.org. Your gifts are gratefully and humbly received.
If it's true what they say, if there's nothing to be done, if it's true that it's too late, and the girl I love is gone, if it's true what they say, is this how the world is? To be beaten and betrayed and then be told that nothing changes. Will it always be like this? If it's true what they say, I'll be on my way. But who are they to say what the truth is anyway? 'Cause the ones who tell the lies are the solemnest to swear, and the ones who load the dice always say the toss is fair, and the ones who deal the cards are the ones who take the tricks with their hands over their hearts while we play the game they fix. And the ones who speak the word always say it is the last, and no answer will be heard to the question no one asks. So I'm asking if it's true. I'm asking me and you and you and you. I believe our answer matters more than anything they say. I believe if there is still a will, then there is still a way. I believe there is a way. I believe in us together more than anyone alone. I believe that with each other we are stronger than we know. I believe we're stronger than they know. I believe we are many. I believe that they are few. And it isn't for the few to tell the many what is true. So I ask you, if it's true what they say, I'll be on my way. Tell me what to do. Is it true? Is it true what they say? Thank you.
Thank you, Camille and Lorianne, for that beautiful music today. Next Sunday, Reverend Monica Jacobson-Tennyson will be back in the pulpit, and she will explore what a reframing of conflict offers us in terms of our community. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea to me. So, if you'd like to stay till noon, I can read off everything that's happening in our community, but that seems like a kind of waste of your time. So I encourage you, if you don't already have it, to sign up for the monthly newsletter and the Friday email. You'll find that this community has a lot of stuff going on, and you're encouraged to check it out and participate in those things that are of interest to you. You can get the newsletter by going to emailing office@uusalem.org, or calling the phone number, or just talking to the folks at the welcome table afterwards. I hope everyone's staying afterwards. So, yeah. So now we are going to light our social justice lantern, which Barb has brought forward. We light this lantern as a symbol of the way that the folks in this community take all the caring and love and support out into the greater community and share that. And as we release the flames from our chalices, I want to offer you the words from reading number 692, it's in the gray hymnal if you want to read along, by Laura Lynn Bellamy. If here you have found freedom, take it with you into the world. If you have found comfort, go and share it with others. If you have dreamed dreams, help one another that they may come true. If you have known love, give some back to a bruised and hurting world. Go in peace.
Please stand in body or spirit to join each other in the closing hymn, number 83. No, that's wrong. 108, sorry. 108. My life flows on in endless song. My life flows on in endless song, above earth's lamentation. I hear the real, though far off hymn that hails a new creation. Through all the tumult and the strife, I hear the music ringing. It sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? What though the tempest round me roars? I know the truth, it liveth. What though the darkness round me close? Songs in the night it giveth. No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging. Since love prevails in heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing? What tyrants tremble as they hear the bells of freedom ringing, when friends rejoice both far and near. How can I keep from singing? To prison cell and dungeon vile, our thoughts to them are winging. When friends by shame are undefiled, how can I keep from singing?
Well, since you're all standing, if you feel comfortable, please join hands as we say our closing words. They're in your program, but they're also on the monitor in the back. Since you're holding hands, it's hard to hold a program. So if you want to turn around backwards so you can see that, that's fine. And let's say those words together. May faith in the spirit of life, hope for the community of earth, and love for the sacred in one another be ours and in all the days to come.